This is our 48-inch fan that we scored for $50. You may have already seen our first video on it where we replaced the wheels and the axle. Now we're actually going to take a look at the function of it. We're going to go ahead and fire up this fan so you can hear it. This is on high. It makes a draggy noise. And we don't have the RPM or the airflow that we really should have out of a 48-inch fan like this. So we need to dig into that next. So this fan actually has a motor mounted separately from the blades with a belt drive. I don't know how well you can see that, but we'll take it apart so you can see it better. One of the advantages here is we can swap pulley sizes to re-gear it, to change the RPM, airflow characteristics, etc. So what I don't know right now is it the blade armature that is making the noise, or is the noise coming from the motor? So we're going to go ahead and get the cage off of here so that we can take the belt off and spin them both by hand and find out where our issue is. So we can see this belt is really chewed up, so that has got to go. So that's going to be one thing that's got to change. But I'm going to dig into this a bit further, get these two unlinked, and figure out where we've got drag. All right, I've got the belt off there and just hanging. Let's see if we've got free spinning. I don't feel play in the bearing there. Got a little bit of drag from the belt, but it seems to spin pretty well. Well, the motor spins free. Let me get you a closer shot of that. The motor is free spinning, but that's where our noise is. So I'm not sure if that's a bad brush. Doesn't really sound like a bearing. Got some troubleshooting to do there, but it looks like the motor is our problem here. So the motor is going to be pretty easy to unmount. The bolts that I undid, or that I loosened to get the belt off, I just got to take those the rest of the way off. It's going to pop right off the back there. Okay, we've got the motor totally free. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on so we can hear it. That is definitely making some undesirable noise. So let's look more into that. And then if we look at our wiring here, it comes up and we've only got 3 wires from the motor. We've got a common here, then we've got a low and a high. So if we take these off the switch, I'll have to remember that the red goes on the right. I disconnect this here. So this motor is brushless, and overall it does not spin too bad. I'm going to go ahead and try to open this motor up, see if we can access the bearings. This one just wants to spin, so we need to get a screwdriver to hold it. Damaged threads a little bit, but we'll live to see another day. Separating it up there a little bit. Just gotta keep working our way around. Alright, I got the end off there. Kind of. Okay, so it's separated, but it doesn't want to come out. Separate it from it. Okay. There we go. Looks like we've got a preload washer back there. And we've got access to at least one bearing. Hey, look at that. We've got some noise there. So that's a good sign that we may be on the right track. I'm going to continue working on getting this front. There we go. All right. Well, here's our motor armature. And looks like we do have a part number on the bearing. That's a good sign. That will make that easy to replace. And it does make a little bit of a dry roller noise, so I think that's probably shot. And then we should have a bearing in the front up here somewhere too. I think we got a bit of bearing noise there too. So if we replace these two bearings, then that should prevent us from having to spend money on a new motor. Okay, I'm being successful in getting this guy off there. Which I think is just like a dust cover of some kind. I'm not sure. It's plastic, not really rubber. It is a bit flexible. Just gotta walk it up the shaft. It's actually a phenolic spacer made out of a composite material. All right, I was able to get this front plate off of there. Yeah, we've definitely got a bad bearing here. Let's get my camera to focus. You see, you can't really feel it, but it's bumpy. Okay, so that's our real bad one. This one ain't great, but it's not quite as bad. They look like they're the same bearing and they have part numbers on them, so I'm gonna see if I can find a source for those. Now, in order to get the belt off, it looks like I have to remove the blade assembly. Yuck. My camera to focus. There we go. That is a belt that needs to be replaced, so we're going to get another one of those while we're at it. The belt that I needed was a 1/2-inch V-belt, 37 inches long. Fortunately, my friendly neighborhood AutoZone had one in stock, so I have one same day. All right, I've got a little rig set up here. The wrench the same size as the shaft. I'm going to get some heat on this bearing, but I don't want to cook the armature. So I actually just noticed, I don't know if you can see that under there, there's actually a C-clip. So I'll see if I can get that out. So I called that a C-clip. It's a snap ring, and it provides a place for the bearing to bottom out on. And I think you have to take the bearing off before you can really get that off. So I've got a larger wrench on there that expands wider than the snap ring, but will still press on the bearing. So we're going to try to get that off of there now. Moving. There we go, one down. Mushroomed it a little bit, but we'll just have to put that on the lathe and repair it a bit. All right, there we go. Now you might wonder, what happened to the armature? Did it break when it fell? That's why I put my crate of regs down there. That way, if it fell like it did, I'm not going to break anything. So there we are. Here's the snap ring I was telling you about on that end, and a snap ring on that end. We'll go ahead and touch these up. All right, got the armature chucked up in my lathe. We mushroomed out the end of it a little bit when we were hitting it with the hammer. We're going to go ahead and touch it up and take care of that. I'm going to bring the cutter in till it's just barely touching. There we go. Some oil on there. Touch it off with the file. All right, after just a little bit of work with emery cloth, we're able to press that back on again. So I think we are in business. That spins way better than it ever did before. We've got a nice spin now, quiet-free, drag-free operation. This is by far the best it's been. I'm going to put some blue thread locker on all of my hardware here because the fan has vibrations and these will work loose over time. And I want to prevent that. Put my set screw in and seat my pulley now that I've got it in line with the fan pulley. And I'll do the same with my 4 mounting studs. All right, we have got it fully reassembled. Before we reinstall the guard, we are going to give it a test run, see how it sounds, make sure everything's good, then we'll close it up. During our test, we'll keep our hands and other appendages out of the blades. That is how the fan is supposed to sound. Got some serious airflow coming out of this thing. No nasty motor noises. Go ahead and shut it down. All right, we are done giving our 48-inch fan the revitalization that it so deserves. So I'm going to give you a little cost breakdown here. Again, we spent $50 on the fan. That was a marketplace pickup, needed a bit of help. First thing we did was we threw a pair of wheels and an axle at it. The wheels were $16. The axle was the biggest expense that we put into the fan. $25 for that piece of 304. Spent about $3 on the cotter pins, the fender washers, another bolt that was missing from the fan. Sunk $10 into the belt and $11 into the bearing. So if you're keeping track, that we're about $125 invested into this. So I am very, very happy with that outcome for a 48-inch fan. So if you like content like this, you know what to do. Smash that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.